Hi, this is Chris from Drescher Physical Therapy. I think the snow is finally gone, and with that comes the springtime. And everybody wants to or needs to get out into the garden, into the yard, and do some things outside. However, what we all need to remember is that our body isn't used to doing these movement patterns. And I look at gardening no differently than I would participating in a sport, meaning you have to prepare yourself to be able to tolerate or participate in the activities. I want to go through just a few things from a mechanic standpoint when you are out in the garden, and then I want to follow up with a few stretches that I would recommend that you perform after you're done gardening. Hopefully, this will all make sense to you and will bring more enjoyment and less pain to you by the end of the day. First thing, let's talk about some mechanics. Always avoid bending from your hips, weeding, or reaching down into the ground. Think about what you're going to do ahead of time. Use a stool, go down on your knees, change your position. That's probably the biggest key that you need to keep in mind. From there, pace yourself. It's not all going to get done in one day, so give yourself 15 or 20 minutes of the activity and then give yourself a break. Always bend from your knees when you're using a shovel or a pitchfork, and try to avoid any type of twisting when you're spreading mulch, handling plants, or anything that has any weight to it. Now, let's review a couple stretches that I would definitely recommend you do following any type of gardening activity. First off, you always want to make sure you protect your back. With that being said, most of us are in a forward or a flexed posture when we are doing gardening. So, let's reverse some of that and work on a little bit of extension. By simply standing upright, putting your hands on the small of your back, and arching backwards is always a beneficial movement pattern for everyone, regardless of your age. Once you've done that, I would then go ahead and start looking more at your torso and your legs. A simple rotation stretch in a chair is always good for your torso, where you sit in a chair, an upright chair, hold on to either the back of the chair or the handle, and rotate. Rotate just until you feel a stretch. No pain, no gain doesn't work with these things. Once you find that stretch, try to maintain it for a good 10-15 seconds. Relax, repeat it. I always recommend 2 to 3 repetitions each side. Next, I would start looking at your hamstrings. The two ways I prefer to stretch my hamstrings are from a seated position and from a standing position. From a seated position, move to the front of the chair. Put one leg out straight with your heel resting comfortably on the floor. Next, keep your back straight and hinge forward from your hips. Again, lean forward until you feel a stretch in the back of your leg. Hold 10-15 seconds. Relax. Repeat 2 to 3 repetitions per side or per leg. Alternatively, you could also do this standing. Stand near something that you can use for support so you don't feel like it's a balance activity. Put your heel up on a platform or a step, and again, hinge from your hips. Lean forward until you feel the stretch. Again, 10-15 second hold, 2 or 3 repetitions per leg. Next, we need to worry about the front of your thighs or your quadriceps. Again, you could do this from a lying down position on your stomach, or most of us would probably prefer standing. Again, find some place that you can use for support. Raise your leg back behind you. Now grab your leg with your opposite hand. The reason I say this is because our knee, even though it is a hinge joint, does turn inward slightly. So this will protect the knee joint. Once you grab a hold of your leg, gently pull back until you feel a stretch in the front of that thigh. Hold 10-15 seconds. Repeat 2 to 3 times per leg. Alternatively, you could lay on your stomach and perform a similar exercise by pulling your heel towards your buttocks with your hand or a strap. The last stretch that I would probably recommend is for your hip rotators, or most people would call it your piriformis. Again, two different ways you could do this. One, you could do it sitting in a chair, or you could also do it lying down on your back. Sitting in a chair, you simply cross your ankle over your other knee. From here, I would grasp your crossed knee and pull it up towards your opposite shoulder. You may not even need to pull to feel a stretch deep within your buttocks. Hold 10-15 seconds. Repeat 2 to 3 times per leg. Laying down, if you lay on your back with your knees bent up and your feet flat, cross your ankle over your knee. Next, grasp your shin and your knee and pull to your opposite shoulder. Or some people like to snake their hands through their legs, grab the other leg and pull that straight upward. Again, a gentle stretch should be felt deep into your buttocks. All of these stretches can be beneficial for you, especially after a long day out in the garden. Remember, pacing is important. It's not all has to be done in one day, and it probably won't. But if you can remember to pace yourself, use proper mechanics, and stretch a little bit afterwards, all those cobwebs that were developed over the long winter months hopefully won't come back and to cause you much pain later that day or even the following morning. Enjoy yourself out in the garden, but remember to be safe. If you have any questions about anything I spoke of today, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 215-619-4545. Thanks for joining me today.